10%, 10%, 10%, 10%, 10% for the big guy. I'm creepy and I'm sleepy. I swore that she was 18. Come on, Jack. The Biden crime family. Neat. Creep. Thief.
I'll tell you what, it does look like the dam is breaking here. The FBI received criminal information from 40 confidential sources on Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, and James Biden, according to Chuck Grassley. Man, this is some absolute bombshell stuff. So 40 confidential sources who the FBI only takes a confidential source if they know that they are credible. Chuck Grassley effectively saying that there is such a preponderance of evidence to Joe Biden's criminality that it's going to be impossible for him to continue on as president. All right. Here's the news. Check it out.
Iowa Republican Senator Chuck Grassley says the FBI maintained more than 40 confidential human sources on various criminal matters related to the Biden family, dating back to Joe Biden's time as vice president. Grassley saying the sources provide criminal information about Joe, James, and Hunter Biden. He says the confidential human sources were managed by multiple FBI field offices across the nation. Senator Grassley also saying a task force within the Bureau's Washington field office sought to, and in some cases did, shut down reporting and information from those sources by falsely discrediting the data as foreign disinformation. Senator Grassley makes those claims in a letter to the FBI director and attorney general, which was obtained exclusively by Fox News Digital.
Hop in and look at that letter, okay? This directly from Chuck Grassley, the king of oversight. It is a 7-page letter, but we will read you the most important paragraph, which is right up here at the very top. So Chuck Grassley writing Christopher Wray and Merrick Garland. This letter is based on years of investigation, including the provision of information, records, and allegations from multiple Justice Department whistleblowers that indicate that there is and has been an effort among certain Justice Department and FBI officials to improperly delay and stop the complete investigative activity into the Biden family, including but not limited to FD 1023s referencing the Biden family. This alleged political infection breaks faith with the American people, and it will ruin our government institutions should it continue. As just one initial example, I've been made aware at this point in time that the FBI has maintained over 40 confidential human sources to provide criminal information relating to Joe Biden, James Biden, and Hunter Biden. An essential question that must be answered is this: did the FBI investigate information or shut it down? Indeed, those sources were improperly shut down. Wouldn't it be out of the ordinary for the FBI? This letter will address. And then, Chuck Grassley, who is, again, in his 80s, has been a senator forever, doesn't need any clout, doesn't need any special cable news hits, doesn't need to get any following on social media. He ain't in this for, he ain't in this for the clout. Chuck Grassley is in this for all the right reasons. He goes through in detail in this letter the incredible sourcing that he has about the FBI shutting down all of the blackmail operation on Joe Biden, which is exactly what Jesse Waters called it last night, saying this is effectively the FBI stating to Joe Biden, we got you by the balls and over the barrel. So unless you want to be a fish in the barrel, then you better give us our brand new FBI headquarters, which he did, right? Brand new spanking billions of dollars for the FBI to go build some giant compound out in Virginia. Donald Trump had stopped it. You better give us, of course, you better not ever investigate us for our criminal actions. You better not investigate our agents like Peter Strzok or Lisa Page, who are now suing the government in order to get a ton of money. They were just doing their jobs to try and stop Trump. The entire ecosystem was to stop Trump. You better not go after us the way that Trump did, effectively. This is blackmail. Watch.
Not only was Biden blackmailing other countries and other countries blackmailing him, but the FBI was blackmailing Biden. Senator Chuck Grassley just announced that the Federal Bureau of Investigation has had 40 informants inside the Biden family for the last 15 years. What does that mean? It's exactly what you think. 40 FBI informants, going back to the time Joe Biden was vice president, have been providing criminal information to FBI field offices throughout the country. 40 FBI informants have been feeding the Bureau exactly what Joe Biden, James Biden, and Hunter Biden have been doing all over the world. Primetime isn't sure the FBI had this many informants working on the Trump campaign. So, what does it mean that the FBI has had the Biden family wired? And what does it mean that the FBI hasn't done a thing? Well, it tells me that the FBI knows all of the president's dirty laundry and is blackmailing him.
Ha! Blackmailing him. Yes. And if Joe Biden is underwater come next summer, which he will be to Donald Trump will be 10 points up, then they will effectively say, now's red button time, pal. Get out of the car. We're on the bridge that goes to nowhere. How you like cement shoes? They're going to push Biden out of office. If Joe Biden proves to be incapable of running against Donald Trump, which he has clearly proven, if Joe Biden proves to be incapable of running against Donald Trump, they are going to shove him overboard. Why do you think they're trotting around Gavin Newsom to Israel and China right now? You know, Xi Jinping won't meet with Biden. Isn't that something? The president of China, dictator in China, won't meet with Joe Biden. Even though Joe Biden likes to tell the story of, I was trying to hit the Himalayas. You know, I was kind of the Himalayas. I was like, what hills are the Himalayas? So Joe Biden is sitting there like outside of Xi Jinping's Communist Palace, holding up a Discman, right? Holding up a speaker, right? Trying to play music, trying to get Xi Jinping to come out and meet him, and he won't meet him. But he'll meet Gavin Newsom. And what does that tell you? That tells you that Gavin Newsom, they're going to try and do the old switcheroo. That's what I think. Gavin Newsom's playing president right now. So just notice. Be a noticer, right? So we've been noticing along these lines that it was Chuck Grassley who had to do the FBI's job for them and who alludes to tapes that the FBI has of Joe Biden actually committing the bribes, actually committing crimes. The FBI has Joe Biden on tape because they were recording it. It's all starting to come into play here. So the FBI is doing the same thing that they did to Donald Trump. Surreptitiously recording, have moles inside of the campaign, monitor the guy so they can use leverage on him when they get into office. A reminder, every single organized government in the world is a criminal cartel. This is where you'll find enlightenment. Find enlightenment with me. Every organized government in the world is a criminal cartel, and every single leader of those cartels are selected puppets. That's why Donald Trump eviscerated the system so bad. This is why they had such an apoplectic panic attack with Donald Trump. Because for the first time in who knows how long, they weren't a selected puppet like the Bushes were and the Clintons were and so on. So this is why the FBI is, of course, hiding the tapes of Joe Biden committing bribery crimes. Watch.
The 1023 produced to the House committees redacted reference that the foreign national who allegedly bribed Joe and Hunter Biden allegedly has audio recordings of his conversation with them. 17 such recordings. According to the 1023, the foreign national possesses 15 audio recordings of phone calls between him and Hunter Biden.
Well, there you go. From the king of oversight inside of the Senate, the old bull, Chuck Grassley. Well, I have the recordings. We have the recordings. We have the tapes. Where the hell are the tapes? We have a dear friend named Greg Kelly, who has an awesome show on Newsmax. I encourage you to watch it. Greg Kelly says that he knows, and Greg Kelly, of course, a military man himself, worked in law enforcement. Greg Kelly's father was the police commissioner of New York for a very long time. He is deeply sourced in law enforcement. Greg Kelly on his show a couple of weeks ago said that there are going to be tapes that drop about Joe Biden. Joe Biden's world is going to become unraveled at the end of October. So we're here, all right? We like Greg Kelly. We trust his reporting. Remember, he promised that Joe Biden would start to actually feel enormous amounts of pain and pressure around the end of October, and that tapes would be dropped that would destroy his presidency. Watch.
But he hasn't seen the half of it yet. There is an audio tape, I am told, by people in the know, not necessarily in government, not necessarily out of government. I can't say too much, but there is incontrovertible evidence of Joe Biden's corruption that is about to be made public. It's not going to happen tomorrow. It's not going to happen before Labor Day, but it will happen sometime between Labor Day and Halloween. This tape will be made public. I'm not sure by what entity at this point, but once it is heard, Joe Biden will have, well, he'll have only two options. Number one, he will not be able to remain a candidate for the presidency for re-election. It will be over and done with. The only thing that he might be able to do, potentially, but probably not, is remain as president. I am told this tape is that incriminating, and they're worried about it right now at the White House. They know about it. They know it's out there. There may be more than one, and it makes a lot of sense.
So why has there been such chaos inside of the ranks? Why do they fight so hard to stop Jim Jordan from becoming speaker? Read the room, man. I think they know that the greatest defense against Joe Biden's potential impeachment in the House is to have Republicans in chaos. They knew it, and they were leveraging. I believe that there are, of course, no Democrats who are secret Republicans. There are a ton of Republicans that are secret Democrats, and they use their leverage. All organized governments are criminal cartels, and they use cartel tactics. This is the FBI holding blackmail on Joe. You will do what we say. We have you by the balls. The old, saggy, powdery balls. James Comer is saying, now we can get back to work, thank God. And there's going to be criminal referrals inside of the Biden family. Wow, watch.
Well, they're being investigated by the House Oversight Committee, and there's going to be criminal referrals when we're finished with this investigation. And, no one knows anything about Jim Biden because he didn't leave a laptop lying around like Hunter Biden. But I can tell you after peeking inside Jim Biden's personal finances and his business, so-called business finances over the past decade, there's no difference. There's nothing that differentiates Jim Biden from Hunter Biden. And the beauty about this AmeriCorps deal and that $200,000 check, that had absolutely nothing to do with Hunter Biden. And the media wants to say this is an investigation of Hunter Biden. Like, why are you investigating the president's son? He didn't work for the government. Joe Biden was ringleader. This was the family business. It wasn't just Hunter Biden. And it wasn't just Jim Biden. There were many Biden that were involved in presenting the Biden brand and shaking people down for payments in exchange for pardons, in exchange for, firing prosecutors in foreign countries, in exchange for navigating the bureaucracy in the government. Just because they didn't get what they wanted, that still makes it, that's still illegal. That's still bribery.
So James Comer's saying, and this is the first time we've heard this, which is awesome. We will do criminal referrals. James Comer saying it's happening. I've seen enough. I've peeked just a little bit into their banking. And reminder, James Comer is a banking expert. This is how he made his bones. James Comer is a banking genius. He knows the practices. He knows how they are done correctly, and he knows how they are done illegally. James Comer is the right man for the right time. Much like Mike Johnson, I think. Really, really come around on this guy. Mike Johnson, hopefully, is a man of God. I mean, I know he's a man of God. His actions prove it. He's going to need some prayer, baby. He's going to need prayer. An important reminder that Chuck Schumer, in a clip that, man, it's hard for me to say this. It's the nicest thing Chuck Schumer's ever done. If I were to meet Chuck Schumer, I would say, and you were to say, give him a compliment. I'd be like, thank you for this moment. Because there's this moment where Chuck Schumer gave this incredible warning to Donald Trump and like told Donald Trump the truth about Washington, D.C. And he he was slipping up here. He shouldn't have said this. And he probably got smacked around by his masters, right, after saying this. But Chuck Schumer straight up told us the game the week before Donald Trump was inaugurated, saying these intel agencies tell me that they are going to destroy you. Psh. Dude, thanks, Chuck. Some people should have listened. Watch.
This antagonism is taunting to the intelligence community.
You take on the intelligence community, they have 6 ways from Sunday at getting back at you. So even for a practical, supposedly hard-nosed businessman, he's being really dumb to do this.
What do you think the intelligence community would do if they were motivated?
I don't know,
to?
but from what I am told, they are very upset with how he has treated them and talked about.
Just a reminder, that clip is just remarkable. From what I am told. What do you mean from what you are told? And what do you mean by they? It's incredible. The Onion, how much Trump rewired the system, because they should never be talking like that. Chuck Schumer is saying that he's an intelligence asset and that the intelligence agencies come in there and tell Chuck Schumer what to say. And that Chuck Schumer can't help himself. They're very angry at Donald Trump. They're going to get back at him. They're going to get back at him. Here they come. And, of course, if you have the power to create, you have the power to destroy. And so the intelligence agencies create Joe Biden and they destroy Donald Trump because they have absolute unified, ironclad, octopus tentacle control of Washington, D.C., the ghost in the machine, and they continue to cover up for the Bidens. They continue to shut down for the Bidens. The length we must elect a Republican president, this is our only shot at understanding the true criminality of this family. Jesse has more reporting. Watch.
Even the FBI informant that said the Bidens shook down Ukraine for a $10 million bribe, that was vetted and found not to be foreign disinformation. But it gets worse. The FBI's attempt to follow up on the $10 million Ukrainian Biden bribe was shut down. The FBI informant who said there's 17 tapes of Biden talking about bribes, that too has been shut down, despite that there's no evidence that this is foreign disinformation. And while all of this is going on, the FBI has been actively planting information against Donald Trump, doctoring emails and disseminating fake dossiers. The FBI used Biden to get revenge on Trump. They got a dirty politician elected so they could defeat a politician who caught them trying to frame him and fired their director.
What a perfect distillation of all of this. Get a filthy, dirty, compromised, overly leveraged, criminal politician elected to be the Muppet head of our criminal cartel, Joe Biden, and to juice everything they can out of Orange Man. It's a really nice little summary there.